Don't think we've talked too much about the position style, but now would be a good time. You don't have to do any of this. Just watch. This will be quick, simple, and clean. 2 divs. Div 1, div 2. Give them height so I could see them, and a background color so I could see them. So what do we got? Nothing crazy. I'll put some text in a div. Look what happens here. I get space in between my divs, which might break the layout of my website. Now, if I didn't do a paragraph element, if I just wrote the text in without using a paragraph element, problem solved there. However, I might have headers, I might have different types of text, and so this is probably what's going to happen. So how do I prevent that? Well, it's kind of like cheating. It's not really good practice. I shouldn't say that. It can be good practice, but it can cause some problems in the future. We'll just ignore those problems for now. Paragraph. If you have a paragraph element inside a div and you don't want this gap between 2 divs, what's happening is this paragraph has a margin, right? This paragraph needs space between itself and the surrounding elements. So this paragraph needs space between this element. It's built in. It's a margin. It has a margin. It's pushing things away. So there's a couple things you could do. Paragraph, margin 0. So what that's going to do is it's going to say, you know what? I don't need that space. I don't need that space from any other element. And then you could hit it with a text align center if you wanted to. Put it in the center of your div. But what if I don't want to go into the center? What if I want to go somewhere else? Well, what you could do is you could go margin top by 100 pixels. And look what happens. You get the space. The space is back again. Well, getting rid of the margin was how we got rid of the gap. We got rid of the pushing. So if I bring back margin again, well, I'm bringing the margin back. I'm bringing the push back. I'm bringing the gap back. And that is no good. So what could I do? I still want a 0 margin, but I'm going to change the position of this paragraph. And the position properly literally dictates where this element is going to show up on your web page. Relative. I can change the position to relative. Doesn't look like it did anything. However, just as the name implies, the position of this text element is going to be relative of its container. So as far as this paragraph element is concerned, nothing outside of the container is going to affect it, or it is not going to affect anything outside of its container. So this pink div, this other container, this is going to completely ignore it. So what I could do now is instead of using margin left, margin top, margin bottom, I can just use top, left, and bottom. I could just use those properties. So for example, if I wanted to push, if I wanted to push this text from the top, if I wanted to push it away from the top, I could go top, 100 pixels. And it's going to push the text down. Just like that. I could push it from the left by 100 pixels. And it's going to push it from the left without interfering with the surrounding elements, what other stuff you might have on your web page. And if I wanted to add some more text to my div, it's going to follow suit and basically starts relative to, well, the position is relative, so the text is going to follow in suit and follow that similar pattern. Careful though, if you come in here and add a header, with nothing modified about it, no stylings applied. The header is going to basically ignore the position of these two paragraph elements. That is because the header is concerned with its position in terms of the web page and the container. So if you're going to add more stuff to your div, just make sure that your h2 has a relative position as well, or whatever else you throw inside your div. Just like that. So it's a cheeky little way. There are other ways, but it's a pretty simple way for now to kind of put text wherever we want inside a div.